Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment I've been waiting for. The moment when I could finally play the highly anticipated follow-up to the 2008 hit Bioshock. What's that? Oh, you may be wondering why I don't bring up Bioshock 2. Well, in all honesty, I actually quite enjoyed the game in story, gameplay, and even the online multiplayer, but I'd been longing for a title developed by the creators of System Shock and Bioshock. Well, Irrational Games has granted both my and many other gamers' wishes as they take us from somewhere beyond the sea to somewhere over the rainbow with Bioshock Infinite. I have been waiting almost 2 years to make that joke. But after all of this wait and a massive amount of hype and anticipation, does this game live up to its own, not to mention my expectations? Well, let's take a trip to the city of Columbia and find out. This game has you taking on the persona of Booker DeWitt. Unlike the silent protagonist of the first Bioshock, Booker has some character and motivation. Booker is a war hero after taking place in the Battle of Wounded Knee and is also a former Pinkerton agent. But times have been tough on Booker as he's amassed a rather large gambling debt. However, his benefactors are offering him a chance to wipe his debt clean. All he has to do is bring them a young girl named Elizabeth, and his debt will be wiped away. And just where is this fine young lady, you may ask? Oh, you know, Colombia. No, not the one in South America. This one. Backstory time. In this storyline, the United States government created this flying city in order to travel from country to country, essentially to show off America's wealth and power. However, due to some issues between the government and the people on the city, Columbia disappeared into the clouds. So, how exactly is Booker supposed to get there? Why, by sitting in a chair in some lighthouse off the coast of Maine, of course. What a silly question. Once he arrives, he discovers that the residents of this city all follow a man by the name of Zachary Hale Comstock, as they see him as their prophet. Unfortunately for you, Elizabeth is integral to his plans for the city, and everyone sees you as a false prophet due to an unfortunate mark on your hand. So, once you manage to free Elizabeth, it's up to you to help her escape the city while fighting off anything that stands in your way. But it won't be easy. Let's face it, it never is. As you traverse through the city, you will have to contend with the police force, armed forces, a revolutionary group named the Vox Populi, and of course, this wouldn't be a Bioshock game without mechanical monstrosities. Along with just standard automated turrets, you will also run into these clockwork tin men named Patriots. These Patriots are modeled after various American presidents and are all armed with Gatling guns. Now that is what I call American firepower. The second type of monstrosities you will see are called handymen. These abominations are similar to the big daddies of Bioshock in the sense that they are part man and part machine. But then there is the matter of the Songbird. This giant mechanical monster is the guardian of Elizabeth, and in some sense her only friend. But this friend of hers is no friend of yours, as the Songbird has one objective: find Elizabeth and take her home. These heavy hitters can take quite a bit of punishment, not to mention dish it out. So just how are you supposed to protect yourself? Well, let's talk about combat. Despite this game taking place in 1912, you are able to get your hands on some very heavy firepower, ranging from pistols and shotguns, all the way up to assault rifles and RPGs. But there is also the matter of vigors. Rather than shooting up plasmids like in Rapture, these potions can be drank to grant you various powers, which help level the playing field. Powers which range from shooting fire and electricity, sending a murder of crows after people, and even sending out water-based tentacles to pull enemies closer. Insert overused meme here. However, these powers do come at the cost of using up salts, which, much like Eve, need to be drank to restore them. But even with all of this, there is also the wild card to the combat, and that wild card is Elizabeth. Now, I'm sure like many of you, once I heard that this game required escorting a female NPC through a treacherous city, I was very concerned that she would be relegated to being annoying, getting in your way, and getting kidnapped. Looking at you, Resident Evil 4. However, this is thankfully not the case. During combat, she scavenges for ammunition, health, money, salts, and even weapons in some cases. Plus, she's no good to anyone dead, so you don't need to worry about her falling in combat. However, she also has some tricks up her sleeve. As it turns out, she had been held captive in this city due to her ability to create tears. What are tears? Oh, you know, holes in the fabric of space and time. With this ability, she can pull cover, weapons, and even allies out of thin air in order to aid you in most conflicts. This campaign should take you around 12 hours to complete, and there is a decent amount of replayability due to the fact that there are many conflicting choices you must make. Now for the reviewing. These graphics are absolutely breathtaking. The design of the vibrant and prosperous Columbia is so beautiful that it takes on a persona of its own, much like Rapture from the first Bioshock. But even aside from this, there is a great variety in the enemies, environments, and especially Elizabeth. Considering she is the character that you will be seeing for most of the game, special care has been made to show her grow and change before your eyes, most of which is due to your influence and choices. For instance, her clothes will begin to get tattered after many fights, and you will begin to see the toll this ordeal has taken on her in her facial expressions, body language, and overall demeanor. As for the combat, this aspect is also put together very well. Not only is there a steady incline in the difficulty of these encounters, but you will very often be fighting different variations and styles of enemies as you progress, even to the point where there will be new enemies introduced even near the endgame. Now, like the first two games, when you die it isn't necessarily game over. If you have Elizabeth with you, she will revive you, and if not, you just respawn close to where you fell. Now, when you die, you will lose some of your money, and the enemies will regain some of their health, but aside from the hardest difficulty, there isn't much of a penalty for death. But even aside from combat, jumping from sky rails to travel works very smoothly, and the use of vigors are very well integrated into the gameplay, so much so that you can pull off combo maneuvers with vigors and weapons in combat. However, the most amazing aspect of this title, hands down, is the story. Now, those of you familiar to the storylines of the previous Bioshock titles will know to expect a narrative layered in mystery with little hints to the underlying plot. Now, as I played this, I took exceptional care to pay close attention to every little detail and collected as many records as I could find. And while my suspicions of the plot reveal were on the right track, I never would have guessed this twist. Seriously, I think my brain exploded 3 separate times during the end sequence, and even before that the reveals are expertly crafted to unravel small details, but never enough to show what's really going on. In short, if you're playing this game and think you know what's going on, you don't. So, in conclusion, can I recommend playing this game? Yes, absolutely, 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 100% positive. This game is absolutely incredible and is already my contender for best of the year. Seriously, I haven't played a game that was this amazing in a very long time. So if you're interested in this title at all and don't have it already, get it. Seriously, right now. You could stop watching this video right now. I don't even care. Just go get it. This is one title that you truly owe to yourself to play. So until we meet again, this is Z-Dog, and I'll see you in the skies. See you next time.